Hi everyone. In this video I'm going to speak about static variables and how they can be used in static methods in classes. So I've got a static method over here, but if I actually wanted to call, for example, this instance variable, will that be allowed? Let's give it a try. So I'm going to change my message and I'll say the name or the book name is, and I'll now add my instance variable over here. Oops, sorry, I thought I copied the right thing. Apparently I didn't. Okay, so there's a problem here. Now I'm putting the mouse over this. It says it cannot use this in a static context. So we can see that instance variables over here cannot be called from a static method, even if this static method is in the same class. So the keyword this here, this refers to an object reference. And static methods, like we said in the previous video, they do not belong to any particular object. They belong to the class book. Therefore, they can't be used within instance variables. They cannot be used within static methods, right? Since static methods do not belong to any particular object. So what do static methods have access to? If they can't access instance variables, or we can't use it within the context, we can't use instance variable within the sense of a method that belongs to a class, then what can we use in a static method? That's where static variables come in handy. Okay, so static variables, they also belong to a class, and they also do not belong to any particular object. So for example, if I wanted to keep information about the class itself, since the static variable, the static method are used for the class, or they belong to a class, then I'm going to think about an example so I can demonstrate this for you. So let's say I wanted to keep information about the class, such as a string, and I'm going to have that string to kind of keep a record of all the book names that are created or that are passed to the constructor every time an object of book is created. So then I can declare a static variable. I'll make it private so we can still achieve encapsulation. And for that purpose, I'm going to have it, its data type be a string, and I'm going to call it all books. So I'm going to use this static variable to kind of collect information about any object that is created, and that information is the name of the book. So to do that, I would, every time this constructor is called, it means a book was created. I want to add the name of the book to this variable. So I'm going to, so plus and a new line. So what I'm doing is every time we pass this name of book, I'm saving that to the string. So it's just going to be a long string that has information of all the books that have been created. And I'm going to change my static method. Now I'm going to call this all books, just to make it a bit related to what we're doing. And so I can also change this message, and I can say all books created so far. And I might have a new line so that it prints everything on a new line. And now I can access the static variable within my static method. It makes sense now. And I might as well call it all books because all book doesn't sound right. Okay, so that's about it. But there is one thing. How do we create more objects? So right now, this is no longer here. This becomes all books. So I'm only going to have actually one book because I only allow the user to put in one book. So all the books created so far, and now this is coming from our static variable. So what I want to do is create more objects just so that we can see this better. Sorry. Book, create another object. I'm not going to get the entry from the user just so that we make this pretty quick. Just for explaining purposes, just to show you how this works better, or to better show you how this works. And I might call this book one. Yeah, okay. And then I'll create more of these. I don't really need this anymore, so I'm just gonna take it off. Yeah, 6 books would be good. And 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we should get, and notice this is just a warning over here. It's just saying these variables are not being used, which is true. I'm not really using them, but I've created the objects. So I've now got 4 objects. 6. The only difference is that the first one gets the name of the book from the user, and the rest are all hard-coded. So let's have a look at what happens now. The first one gets book 1, and the others are there. So this is all a string right here, and that's being saved into a static variable that can be accessed from a static method that can be called from the class name. Just as simple as that. Another example where we can use the static variable in a different way is I can make a counter that counts the number of books that have been created. So I can change my program to now be an integer, and this becomes a 0. And I could just say every time an object or this constructor is called, increment this by 1. This gives me an indication of how many books have been created. And now I can change my message and I can say number of books created so far, and nothing else changes. That's about it. Let's save it and let's see how it works. It should give me it should give me 6. So number of books created so far is 6. So that was 2 uses of how we made use of a static variable. The first one was where we've collected all the names of books in a static variable of type string, and the second example is where we've actually made this an integer, and we've just kept a count of every time a book was created, we incremented that by 1. So I hope this helps you understand how we can use static variables within static methods and make use of a static variable to give us information about the class rather than to be specific to an object. So I'll see you in future videos. Thank you so much.